それから先の1年間というものはなかなかボツになるばっかりだったんですね。
そうです。書いても書いてもという、僕自身は全然しんどくなかったですけど、それまで書いたことないもんですから、どんどん自分で少しは上達してるなというのが分かって面白かったです。
暮らしはどうしてらしたか、その間
そうなんです。
でもその時になんかものすごく今おっしゃったように、なんかもう何百枚ももう絵を描きなさい。そこが一番お勉強だったんですって。
そうですね。500枚ぐらい描いてましたから、あの時点で割とめきめきと腕は上がってきたと思うんですけど、腕は上がってきたと思うんですけど、腕は上がってきたと思うんですけど。
Look, this video will be packed with real information and points condensed within a relatively short time span, so this is your chance to swipe off if you're not actually willing to hear something real, alright? Also, before we get into this, and I mean really get into this, I want to state that I do not plan on doing another video on this. This is my second and last time, hopefully, addressing the Sparking Zero community in this manner. Lastly, I genuinely could not care less how many views this video gets. The ultimate goal is that at least somebody will begin to understand the bigger picture and hopefully shift perspective after watching this video. That said, if you're still here, let's have a very candid conversation about the grave danger the Sparking Zero community is in given its current state, and how, if there is no course correction, it will inevitably result in the downfall of this product and have a community that will be the furthest thing from the spirit of Dragon Ball that we all knew and loved, portrayed by the late and the great Akira Toriyama. At any rate, I wanted him to have the sense of being that rare guy who seeks only to become stronger than before. So much so that it feels like there's no one as pure as this person. And while he does end up saving everyone as a result of that, he himself, at least, has a very pure sincerity about wanting to become stronger. Okay, so after listening to that, I want each and every one of you, please, who just read that or heard that, to think about the question I'm about to ask you. And while you're thinking, I need you to be 100% honest with yourself. All right? So here we go. Does that quote from the creator of Dragon Ball himself, Akira Toriyama, sound even remotely close to the mindset that we hear from the Sparking Zero community? I hope you answered that in your head. If your answer was anything shy of heck no, then perhaps you did not heed to my warning of honesty. Moreover, it's likely you don't yet comprehend the surface level, not even the surface level, of the issues within the community. To be frank, and please don't get hurt by this, but if you didn't answer that question properly, it might be in your best interest to click off this video and go back to Roblox or something. I'm being so for real. Now, to those of you that were honest, allow me to break down what I believe to be the core underlying issues plaguing the community that can, in one way or another, be it all directly or indirectly, be the answer to all our biggest problems we are faced with today in the Sparking Zero community, man. So the first thing that I have written down here is the underlying toxin number one, and that goes by lack of honor. And it's interesting because these things are kind of hinted at in front of our face. For instance, take a look at this clip right here from Super Saiyan 3 Goku fighting Super Buu. Right? Okay. So I have written down here, according to the Webster's Dictionary, honor has two mainstream popular meanings. The first one is a good name or public esteem / reputation. Okay. The second thing that Webster's defines honor as is a showing of usually merited respect, recognition, right? Unfortunately, this is not the case for a large portion of the community, man. A good example of this is when you're waiting to queue up into a match, right? Sometimes matches take a long time to queue up, and you decide to go do something until it loads. Get a snack, use the bathroom, whatever it is, and you load up into the match, and you come back and you're dead. Like, it's not hard to see that somebody's not at the game. Why not just wait for them? Now, it's different if you wait for 2 whole minutes and they're still not there. Okay, you know, that's a little bit capped because now you're just completely wasting the person's time. But most of the times, people just leave just because the queue is taking so long, and they'll be back soon if you wait. How do I know this? Because I've done it myself. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like everybody lacks honor. There are some times, I say it is very rare and seldom, but there are some times I'm AFK and I come back and the person's just doing emotes and they wait for me. That is honor. Right, the main character, Goku, of the entire series of Dragon Ball, predicates himself on honor. He doesn't want to take shortcuts. He doesn't want to have an easy win. Now, some of you guys might be listening to this and say, oh, this dude's being way too serious. If you're saying that, fine, you're entitled to your opinion, but this video probably isn't for you because I'm really trying to talk about underlying issues. Something that I want you guys to think about is that big things are only comprised of a bunch of undealt little things. Let me say that again. Big things are only comprised of a bunch of undealt and unhandled little things. And it's a snowball effect, and it becomes a big thing. One of these quote unquote little things is a lack of honor. Okay, if you're still not convinced, allow me to demonstrate using other games, right? Call of Duty. While I hate to compare Sparking Zero to Call of Duty, at least in the heyday of Call of Duty and Black Ops 2 and Black Ops, things like that, corner camping was considered dishonorable, man. The game, you were supposed to run and gun, and you were supposed to get as many kills as you could. If you die, so be it. But you were supposed to get in the field and do the honorable thing and fight, not sneak attack people. Now, I understand there might be some people who are on the contrary and say, that's an actual bad strategy. I am talking about within the context of the game, what is accepted and what's not accepted. What is accepted is honorable and what's not. All right. Also, when I first started my YouTube channel, one of the heaviest games that I played was called For Honor. In this game, if you are AFK, almost everybody waits for you to get back. Isn't that ironic? That is also a fighting game. That is also a fighting game in which the goal is to win. When you're not at the game, when a For Honor match starts, they will wait for you to come back. They will do their emotes. They will do all these different kinds of things, but they will not hit you until you come back. It's more often than not that they show honor. There's a reason that For Honor still has a very high active fan base and player base today. Okay? So this some of you guys might think this is a little thing, but I'm really trying to get you to see this, right? And then let's talk about Dragon Ball itself. Goku doesn't want any cheap wins. Vegeta doesn't want any cheap wins. Guys, these guys are fighters, man. These guys are fighters. I mean, think about Goku. If I'm not mistaken, during the Cell Saga, Goku literally gave Cell a senzu bean so that he could be at his best before he was defeated by his son Gohan. Let that sink in, man. Really listen to what I'm saying. All right, and that's not what you see in the Sparking Zero community. You see a lack of honor. And while it may seem like a surface issue, it can extend far beyond that, all right? Because big things are just comprised of a bunch of little things, all right? On to the next point I have here. And we're about halfway through, man. We're almost done. The underlying toxin number 2 that I have written down is the lack of appreciation for the concept / story of Dragon Ball, okay? Good grief. Y'all buckle in, man. I hear a lot of complaining in the Sparking Zero community, okay? I also want to say I do a lot of complaining within the Sparking Zero community. I complain about things that seem unfair, that seem overpowered, that seem very difficult to beat. I do. I'm a human being just like everybody else. I complain. The difference is after I finish complaining, I do something about it. After I finished getting whooped by a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta that just allowed he caused my health to go down in the blink of an eye, I go into the lab and I put the computer on Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and I run through a variety of different settings on the hardest difficulty in order to understand the character better so that I can counter them better. Okay? So complaining is not the bad thing, but complaining and complaining and complaining and then not doing anything about it, you're not solving anything. And so I want you guys to understand that before the change comes, we have to be the change we want to see. Let me run that back by you one more time. Before the change comes that we want to see, we have to be the change that we want to see. Because what do we look like asking for change if we're not willing to do anything ourselves? Okay, some people are gonna say it's in the devs' fault. Yes, the devs have responsibility, okay? But when are we going to look at a situation for what it is and acknowledge that, hey, we can't control what the devs do. We can complain, we can try to get our voice out there, but while this issue still exists, let me find a way to navigate around it. It's not terrible just to complain. Complaining is a human thing, but don't let it sit there. Don't just complain and then quit. If you're gonna complain, quit the game and uninstall it. Okay, I've seen that. Just uninstall it. But for those of you guys who are creating content, those of you guys who are not creating content, just consuming content, complaining is okay. Do something after you finish complaining, man. Because where there's a will, there's a way. Okay? And just to give a self-personal example, there's hundreds of thousands of people playing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I am not the best player in the world, but I'd like to believe that I'm one of them, right? I'd say in the thousands of best players, because there's hundreds of thousands of people that play. So at least on PS5, I'm one of them. And so I believe, right? Anybody can disagree with me. I don't care, man. This is literally, I'm just trying to make a point here. The other day, I hit the top 10 Z-rank Super Saiyan 4 Vegetas. Now, if you know anything about this game, you know Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is a solid character, but he's not the best by any means. Not only did I hit top 10 on the leaderboards for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, but I did this without going sparking mode one single time, without using an ultimate attack one single time. Now, I don't know if anybody else on that top 10 leaderboard for PS5 on Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta can say the same. Why do I bring this up? Because I had a will, and where there's a will, there's a way. You don't think I was playing Super Saiyan 4 Vegetas and you don't think I was playing Super Saiyan Blue Vegetas and Whis and Master Ultra Instinct, all these characters that have instant spark, and they were using it on me, but I had a will to get to the top 10 without ever going sparking, without ever using an ultimate attack. And I found a way to do that. And so if you look on the top 10, I mean, hopefully, I don't know if anybody took the spot away from me, but the video's on my channel. I hit the top 10 and I have the entire stream is up, man. I didn't go sparking one single time. So that's what I'm getting at. Okay. Next thing before we go on to the second to last point. All right. Think about Dragon Ball. Listen, this is a Dragon Ball game. The devs already said that there was going to be power scaling. It wasn't necessarily going to be a balanced game. They never promised for the game to be balanced. They did promise for it to have a Dragon Ball Z type of feel. Okay, and I like to say that they delivered on that. Why, Ambassador Plays? Why would you say that they delivered on that? Because think about the theme of Dragon Ball. Think about Goku. Right? Fighting King Piccolo. It was not a easy fight by any means. Think about Goku fighting Scouter Vegeta when he first came down to Earth to take over the Earth in the Saiyan Saga. It was not a fair fight. Nappa and Vegeta were obliterating all of the Z fighters. How you think Chiaotzu felt, bruh? How you think Piccolo felt, bro? How do you think Krillin felt, bro? They felt like Vegeta was overpowered, like Nappa was overpowered. Did they cry? Yeah. But what happened to them? They got beat to a pulp. But then what happened? They found a way to beat, bro. They found a way to work together and go around this power scaling issue that they were facing. That is the very core. It's one of the very fundamental themes of Dragon Ball. Push to become stronger than before. That's a part of the Saiyan race, bro. Are we forgetting what game we're playing? Saiyans get stronger with each fight. Saiyans get stronger the more near-death experiences they have, so that they can come back and overcome their opponent next time. You don't see Saiyan saying, oh man, it was too strong, I'm gonna just stop fighting altogether, man. This tail right here, screw this, man. I'm gonna take this tail off because he too strong. No, bro. You don't see Saiyans doing that. So why are you doing it, bro? The game we're playing is Dragon Ball Z. It was formed off of this anime that's themed around becoming stronger and finding a way to overcome your adversaries by any means necessary. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right? So, yeah, I think that there's more that we can do than just use Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, MUI, Whis, Full Power Jiren. Yo, we gotta be the change that we want to see. If we want to see people stop using these characters, we gotta stop using these characters, man. You can't complain about people using Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and then match their energy. And I'm guilty of this too, because sometimes it's frustrating. I have a video on my channel where I use Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and win so many games in a row just to prove a point. But that's not helping my point. That's not helping me wanting to, fight something more equal, at least in the ranked mode. Okay, so I'm done on that point right there. This is a second to last point, and we're out of here, man. I told you it was going to be a condensed video. It's not going to be much longer than 15 minutes at all. Okay? The underlying toxin number 3 that I have is the lost love of the art called overcoming beating the odds. Man, this is something that all throughout Dragon Ball Z, it's interwoven all throughout Dragon Ball Z. The odds have been stacked against the Z fighters time and time and time after again. The odds were stacked against them with Vegeta in the Saiyan saga. The odds were stacked against them during the Ginyu Force saga, or whatever it's called, when the Ginyu Force came down to Earth, Frieza's soldiers, right before this the Frieza saga. I might be messing up the sagas, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Goku, he ascended, man. He pushed past his limits, bro. He beat the odds because Frieza was obliterating everybody he knew and loved. Frieza obliterated his rival, and their friendship was developing. Vegeta, man. He pushed Vegeta to the brink of death, man. That man had a hole in his chest in his Saiyan armor. He picked up Krillin with some telekinesis type joint and exploded him right in front of Goku's face. You don't think that boy Goku was tired, but what'd he do? He hit the most iconic scene of all of Dragon Ball, and that's the first transformation of the Saiyan race that was recorded on the anime, and went Super Saiyan, bro. He overcome/beat the odds because they were most definitely in the odds, man. The odds were not in their favor. Okay, so what would I recommend for the community to do? This is the problem with what they do right now. Instead of putting in the work to become better, people find the quickest way to cut corners and attempt to level the playing field by using the same tier OP character. I heard it said by a good friend on this YouTube platform now by the name of Don Coolio Walks. He said, how you do one thing is how you do a bunch of things, or how you do a lot of things. I think that there's some truth to that statement, man. If you're willing to sell out just because you're having difficulty attaining a goal, I think that you should be careful with that, man. I think that you should stand higher than that, man. You should take the high road and be like, all right, boom. This character is OD powerful. And I know for a fact if I were to get on this character, I would never lose. And because of that, I'm going to make sure that I beat this character, I pummel this character, I destroy this character with my favorite character without compromising and using that OP garbageness. All right? So I think that there's a lost love for that, because you have to love beating the odds. You have to love beating the odds, man. That's Dragon Ball Z over and over and over. The most recent, or some of the most recent, in Dragon Ball Super with Full Power Jiren, smacking everybody. What did Goku do? He went Ultra Instinct Saiyan and eventually went Master Ultra Instinct. Like, overcoming the odds, the love of overcoming the odds. What did Vegeta do when he was fighting Toppo? It was a close battle. He was getting whooped a little bit. He was whooping Toppo a little bit. He went that extra form above Super Saiyan Blue. It was like Super Saiyan Blue evolved or something like that, or evolution. He beat the odds, and he had the love of the art called overcoming beating the odds. All right? So, we're about to wrap up the video, man. Get in the comments and let me know what you think. This is the last thing that I'm going to say about this. In closing, I just want to tell you guys, man, I want to leave you guys with some encouragement. Don't let the comparison of the past rob you of the joy in the future. All right, I understand Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and 3 were great games. Raging Blast has big fans. Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2 have big fans. But don't let the comparison of the past rob you of the joy in the future, because Sparking Zero, no matter how much we love those previous games, will never be that. So if you keep comparing it to that, you are going to make the game less fun for yourself. I just want you to realize that. You're doing yourself a disservice, because that game will never be those other games. All right? But what happens after? Oh, I skipped, sorry. Finally, it's okay to complain, like I said earlier, but what happens after you stop complaining? Be the change that we want to see. Okay, and then this one is for the content creators, and I don't mean any offense by this. If you get offended, it's not my intent. Yo, stop clout chasing, bro. All right, stop clout chasing. This from me to you. First of all, clout chasing is not worth it. It's not worth it, bro. That clout that you want, 9 times out of 10, you don't actually want what you think you want, okay? Because it's not all it's cracked up to be. These people that show you this lavish lifestyle, like they got everything together, like they have all the materialistic possessions that they could possibly desire, but you got no idea what they're struggling with behind closed doors and the pressure that they have on their shoulders to maintain what they've built, okay? So you have to build your YouTube channel on a firm foundation of authenticity, bro, because if you don't, it's going to get real ugly and real weird. I'm telling you that from things that I've seen, okay? And I'm also a content creator myself now. You just got to be authentic, man. It's okay to use other people's strategies as blueprints and make them your own, but don't clout chase, okay? And then lastly, the very last thing I'm going to say and leave y'all with, content creators, yo. It's enough gosh darn drama in the world, bro. Chill, man. Dang. Chill, bro. We need to use our platforms to build one another up and not tear each other down, bro. That won't help anybody at the end of the day. What are you tearing people down for, your ego? What are you insulting other people for, your ego? What are you calling people names for, your ego? Listen, bro, we all go through too much in real life to be going at each other's necks, man. It's Dragon Ball Z, bro. We supposed to form, a connection over this game because we all have a special place in our heart for Dragon Ball Z. You think Akira Toriyama will want 2 fans of Dragon Ball calling each other names? Nah. Come on, bro. We got too much going on in real life to be at each other's necks, bro. And if you're at opposition with somebody, shake the dust up off your shoulders, kick it off your feet, and shake their hand. Make things right, man. Real talk, bro. And that's it. God bless. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm out.